Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm thankful that I have this opportunity to take you to a very personal journey to a church that is very precious to my family and me personally. This shrine, Basilica Velankani, where the Kani or Virgin appeared at Velai, a small town, hence the name Velankani. This church is dedicated to the Blessed Mother Mary, and here the Blessed Mary is referred to as Our Lady of Good Health. So Velai or Velankani, as it is known today, was a small seaside port, as you can see on the map on your right. It was once a very prominent port among early sailors, but soon it was reduced in importance to become a town which relied mainly on farming and fishing. It still is a small town today. And the closest big town is Nagapattinam, which again you could see on the map, is kind of 12 kilometers away. And it comes under the Roman Catholic Diocese of Tanjavur, and it is a good 350 kilometers away from Chennai. But today it holds one of the most prominent and powerful churches in the world dedicated to Mother Mary. And in fact, it's known as the Lourdes of the East. The primary reason for this is because there have been 3 apparitions of the Mother as early as 16th and 17th century. So I would like you to imagine something that happened like close to maybe 500 years ago. So the first apparition was the Mother appears to a sleeping shepherd boy who was resting under a banyan tree by a pond. He was taking a break from delivering milk to different homes. The Mother appeared to him and asked him for milk for her infant son, our Jesus, who she carried in her arms. The boy offered the milk, though he was awestruck by this visitor. He then went on to his next delivery and even apologized to the man of the household, saying he had to give away some of the milk because someone asked him for it. But when he opened the pot to make the next delivery, it was still full of fresh milk. The boy and the man returned to the spot by the pond, and the Mother Mary appeared to them again. Today, there is a well, to the picture on the right, at that very same spot. This was called Maadha Kollam, or the spring well of Mary. This apparition happened around the year 1570. This is the second apparition and one of more importance. Here, the second visitation happened roughly 7 years later after the first. It was to a crippled boy who used to sit in the town square and sell buttermilk to passers-by in the summer. His mother was a widow and she would carry him there every day and leave him so she could go to work. So one day as he was waiting, he was visited by Our Lady with her infant son, Jesus. The boy handed her buttermilk as was requested of him. She then told him to get up and walk and go to the house of a Catholic man in Nagapattinam and tell him to build a chapel in her name. The boy hesitated, but he got up and he did as he was asked. He realized that he was no longer lame. He hurried to Nagapattinam and met the man who had already had a dream about this chapel the previous night. Together, they returned to Velai, and the Mother appeared to them again and repeated the request. And soon a small thatched chapel was built. It was dedicated to Our Lady of Good Health, or Arokya Maadha. This marked the humble beginning of this very powerful shrine. The third apparition is that of the Portuguese sailors. The Portuguese sailors, as you may have read, traveled fabled sea routes doing trading. On one such trip from Macau to Colombo, their ship was caught in a very violent sea storm. Being very devout Catholics, they called out to Mary, the star of the sea. Our Mother appeared to them, and their ship washed ashore at Velankani with 150 sailors. Though their ship was destroyed, they survived. The local fishermen took them to that small thatched chapel where they offered their prayers and gratitude and vowed to build a church. They built the first permanent chapel and they improved it on their subsequent visits. So this picture is the miraculous statue of our Mother Mary. This statue that stands today at the altar in this church is the one that was given by the Portuguese in the days when the first permanent church was established. It is smaller, as you notice, it is much smaller than normal statues of Mother Mary you would see. And it is one of the only 2 statues to be adorned in a sari. The Portuguese also embellished the sides of the altar, as you can see, with blue porcelain tiles, depicting their voyage and their safety. It still stands today. They dedicated this chapel to Mary on September 8th, which is the feast day of her nativity. These visitations and countless other healings transformed this once small shrine into one of international fame that attracts millions of visitors every year. So this is just a layout, as you can see on the left. This is the main shrine. This is where Maadha Kollam is from the first apparition. Some people do Nercha. They walk, they go on their knees this whole distance, which is a good more than a mile, on their knees, on the hot sand. That is their Nercha to Mother Mary. That is one of the Nerchas that people offer. So this is the feast day of Our Lady of Good Health. The feast day is on September 8th, but it starts on August 29th when the flag is hoisted and novenas are said every day. People wear kavi, or you can say close to saffron robes. Some go on a padayatra to the shrine. They even start walking from Chennai in the blistering summer heat. On the evening of September 7th, there's a procession where the statue of Mother is brought out. Devotees in millions throng the premises, jostling for a space with a prayer on their lips, a pleading in their eyes, and hands outstretched in submission. The devotees come with no bar in religion, region, caste, or nationality. In fact, if you visit the church, you will notice that most of the people who come there are non-Christians, but they all come in faith because they've had a prayer answered, or they come in hope. Now, I would like to take you to the next slide, is the magnificent church as you see it today. So I would like to tell you some facts. Velankani was carved out as a separate parish from Nagapatnam in September 1771. This majestic shrine faces the east and is painted in pristine white. The magnificent architecture reflecting the Gothic style, the countless miracles of healing, the miraculous statue, and the beauty of the shrine were the reasons why it was elevated to the status of a minor basilica by His Holiness Pope John Paul XXIII in 1962. There is also a museum in the shrine called the Museum of Offerings, and that is a witness to the healing and answered prayers. Countless donations made in silver, gold, and precious metals are displayed there. This shrine was declared Lourdes of the East by His Holiness Pope John Paul II in 2002. Mass is said in English, Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, Konkani, Malayalam, and Kannada. If you get a chance, please visit. My family has made this pilgrimage more than 30 times, my parents. And even as recently as 4 years ago, as you walk into the shrine, you will be drawn to the tiny statue at the altar that will hold your gaze. Amidst the glow of lit candles and countless prayers whispered by people from all walks of life, one thing binds them all, their steadfast faith that Mary will hear their prayer, heal them, or help them out of their predicament. Some come in gratitude for answered prayers. If you visit out of curiosity, that's fine too. But then do stop and ask around. Talk to people around you. Every person there will have a story to tell you of healing, blessing, and hope. This is the image I leave with, and I leave you with, the church at sundown. This has been a very humbling, personal journey and a blessing for me to speak about this beautiful church that is the very center of my family's faith. Thank you very much.